Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Hello Hola Bonjour Shao session 3. I am Tasin Mahatab, language instructor of C2B. Today I will be talking on a very important focus, which is how to confidently introduce yourself in English in formal and informal situations. One of the very first lessons in English language learners is how to get introduced yourself in English. But do these lessons line up with what happens in the real world? Not really. When was the last time you went to a party, immediately walked into someone, shook their head, and stated your name, job, and hobbies? Maybe never. Unfortunately, as adults in the real world, it can actually be terrifying to introduce yourself. You may try very, very hard not to meet new people. Why? Because we want strangers like us. We are scared that we are going to say something wrong that makes them hate us or think we are silly instead. Today I'm going to go all over the English phrases you need to meet someone new and introduce yourself with total confidence in both informal and formal situations. You can finally stop being nervous and meeting new people, because you will have the best introduction expressions ready to use. So I will divide my videos by two parts. In this video I will talking about the informal interaction method, and in my second video I will go with the formal one. So going with my first point, which is how to introduce yourself in a casual setting. The first point is, remember the phrases to break the ice. Break the ice is a common English expression. It means to get comfortable with someone. There are many ways to start talking to someone new. I recommend that you memorize only 2 or 3 so you don't forget them. Pick ones that you use anywhere, anytime, which ones sound most natural to you. The most important thing is that you are comfortable saying them when you introduce yourself. Here is the easiest one. Just say hello and your name. Then if possible, shake hands. Let's say Amy is talking with Brian. Now Amy is greeting Brian like, hello Amy. Yeah, Amy offers her hand. Brian replies, hello Brian. Then Brian shakes his hands with Amy. Then Amy replies, nice to meet you. So here you see a simple conversation. Isn't it great, right? See, it's that easy. You can also break the ice by using other common greetings like good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And after the first greeting, the best way to break the ice is to ask for very basic information that gives you a reason for starting the conversation. Here are some examples, like how are you, where are you from, what are you doing here, or what brings you here, are you having a good time. Another great icebreaker is a compliment. Find something you like about them and tell them. Just be little care about picking an object compliment. A good rule of thumb is to avoid discussing permanent characteristics, because it can really come off wrong. They might be offended or think it's too forward or over friendly. You can go for some kind of compliments like, I love your dress, you have a beautiful dog, is that your car, I really like it. The second one is prepare basic answers about yourself. Prepare some basic answers about yourself so that you can introduce yourself with confidence and perfect English in the moment. Like, here are some answers ready for you guys of the following questions, like where are you from, what do you do, what are you doing here, do you like your job, how was your recent trip, are you having a good time, what do you think of the weather, what do you think of the particular movie or event or any conference or restaurant, etc. Even when these questions are specific, you can have general response prepared. Say something generally positive, then add in more detail. Adding the detail keeps the conversation interesting. Then you can ask a question. For example, Brian asks Amy, what do you think of the restaurant? Amy replies, it's really nice, I especially like the fish. Did you? Here, do understand that Amy questioned Brian again in saying, did you? So it added a value in the sentence, and it's a good way possible to continue the conversation further. In our example 2, we can say Brian asks Amy, how do you find the conference? Amy replies, it's really interesting. I especially like the first speaker. What do you think? Here Amy asks Brian that what was his thought about the conference. So it's also a good way possible to keep up the conversation further. Suppose in our example 3, you can say Brian asks Amy that how was your trip? Amy replies, it was mostly fine. I only had one layover. How was yours? It's that simple. In our third point, ask follow-up questions to spark conversation. Now you need to keep the conversation going. Part of introducing yourself is letting the person you are talking to introduce himself or herself too. To do this, have more simple questions ready, like before have 3 or 4 questions memorized. These questions can more be general to spark a real conversation, like did you read the news about our recent rape incidents of our country? Have you seen the particular movie or TV show, like suppose Harry Potter or Money Heist? Do you like this neighborhood or this bar or this city? So you can also use some of the questions we discussed in section 2. Number 4, ask even more questions to keep the conversation going. So if you are not confident in your English skills, it's much easier to listen to the person than it is to speak. Pay attention to the answers from your question and ask more details. People like talking about themselves, so this won't be a problem. Below are some sample conversations. Amy questioning Brian that how are you? Brian replies, a little tired. Amy, why is that? Brian, I didn't sleep well last night. Amy, I'm sorry to hear that. What went wrong? Brian, I'm a bit jet lagged from my flight. Amy, I bet. Where did you fly from? Brian, I came from London last night. Amy, that's far. Was it a long flight? Brian, just a few hours, but I had a long layover in Frankfurt. So as you can see how Amy keeps the conversation going each time by asking Brian for more information. So asking for more information adds value to the conversation. Let's look at another example. Here Amy asks Brian, where are you from? Brian, I am from England. Amy, wow, that's far. When did you arrive? Brian, I flew in last night. Amy, was it a long flight? Brian, just a few hours, but I'm still feeling jet lagged. Amy, what's the time difference? We can see how conversation is a little different, but same questions still work. Whenever we meet people, we usually have similar conversations to introduce ourselves and get to know each other better. Here we can look at Amy and Brian are both at a business conference and they are talking about something. Amy asks Brian, what are you doing here? Brian, I am here from the conference. Amy, so am I. What company you are from? Brian, I am from the sales team of Samsung. Amy, that's really interesting. Do you like it? Brian, most of the time, yes. Amy, what do you like about it? Brian, I get to travel with nice conferences like this. So when you are traveling for businesses, asking what people do for work is always safe, but however, be careful to keep the conversation positive. Number 5, exit plan. Not all conversations are going to be good. If you find you have nothing more to say or you are not connecting with the person you're talking with, you need a way to leave politely. Otherwise, there could be a lot of awkward silences. Here are a few key lines for leaving politely. Excuse me, I need to find my friend or go to a meeting. Well, it's been lovely to talking with you. Best of luck. Nice to meet you, Brian. I had to run off, but I need to go. Let me give you my card before I go. Enjoy your time here. As you say these phrases, hold out your hand for a handshake, making it clear that you are ending the conversation. That's all for today. In my next video, I will be talking about introduction method in the most formal way possible. Till then, stay tuned, subscribe to Sit to Big and hit the notification bell in the bottom right corner of the video. Thank you.